Good morning, Dave Kenworthy here. It's the 14th of the 11th, 2021. We're looking at the front cover of my book, The Eclipse. And we're going to look at this Eclipse unit that I've written about, which is 14.666 recurring inches. It can also be 1.46 or 146.666. It doesn't really matter. This unit will divide into the Saros cycle and give a whole number. This is the first chapter of the book, and it's titled The Eclipse Unit 14.666 and what this book is about. And Tom says this, and if you read that, it's a staggering thing for him to say. And it leaves us in no doubt about where the divide is between modern archaeology and what Tom found. And there's a chasm between the two. It's massive. And if this work of Tom is accepted, which it must be eventually, then our archaeologists are nowhere at all. They've trapped themselves by not investigating this work of Tom. They've left themselves in a corner with nowhere to turn. So let's have a look at the spreadsheet supporting this presentation. Historical Metrology 3, The Undiscovered Simplicity of Ancient Mathematics in Tom's Aubrey Circle. And we're talking about the Saros cycle, and we can find that out on the NASA website. Fred Espenek is Mr. Eclipse. He says it's 18 years, 11 days and 8 hours. 8 hours being a third of a day. So we can go back to the spreadsheet. And 18 years, 11 days, 8 hours is 685.333 days. And the 8 over 24 is exactly 0.333. And what we find is when we use 10 chains, 100 chains of 66 feet, we get 6,600. If we take 14.666 off that, we get the Saros. That unit, there are 450 in that, and 449 in that. And the thing is, did they know this unit? Were they actually using it? And what we find is when we use 22 over 7 in any circle, then that unit is inherent in the circumference of the circle. And it's not something our teachers taught us because they weren't looking how to predict eclipses. And the first thing I noticed when I read Tom's book, he said they were predicting eclipses, and he also said they were using 22 over 7. And I wondered what the link between the two was, and I found this 14.666. But I never understood the actual inherent quality within 22 over 7. I've only just really discovered it, and I'm writing about it now. And these ancient people must have known about it. They knew more about the qualities of the circle than our mathematicians do, because they were looking for eclipses. So the circle had to be investigated to find out what all the relationships were that they were discovering when they were using pi as 22 over 7. And what they found was, instead of dividing the diameter into the circumference to get pi, they subtracted it and got this number 15, and then divided that into 22 to get this unit A, the ancient eclipse unit, which is 1.466, and it's 44 over 30. Now root 2 is 99 over 7 is this unit multiplied by 27 over 28, and that's the calculation, and that's 99 over 7. It's the same thing. And Tom's Aubrey Circle, in modern imperial feet, ancient megalithic yards, megalithic rods and megalithic inches, we find every time this unit is embedded in there, because we've got C minus D in all cases. And they must have known this, because when they get in this amount here, what we're actually saying is if they use half a megalithic yard, that's 660. They'll have to put another 10 on it, and then subtract 10 of those units from it, and they've got the Saros. And they know there they know that there are 4,500 units of those in 6,600, and there were 4,490 in that. So it was never difficult for them to work it out once they'd narrowed down all the cycles. Now, the Aubrey circle is much more complex than these figures would have us believe, but I'm not going to go into that now. That's enough for now. For the time being, we really need to know that this unit A is discovered when we take C minus D, divide it into C, we get unit A. And unit A is the ancient eclipse unit. And they knew it. So thank you very much.